tips to get you started on the right foot with your dog. Let's get started. Here's what you'll need. Positive tone of voice. You need positive tone of voice. For example, if Maggie did what I wanted, and I wanted to praise her, I would go, "Good girl, Maggie, good girl." Then, because the good girl was nice and calm and positive, but the was too high energy. And you want it to be nice and calm and positive. That one was a little too hyper. So, if I did, "Where's a good girl? Maggie's a good girl." See, her expression was confused because she hears me saying good girl, but it's in a low tone of voice, so she's going, am I being good or am I being bad? So, there's positive tone of voice. Think of it as if your dog speaks another language than you. You were in a different country and didn't know the language. How would you know what the people were trying to tell you? By body language, hand gestures, or signals, or, Make sure you and your dog are both relaxed before getting started. You also need treats. I use a soft treat like natural balance rolls, cut into little pieces. Sorry, you didn't hear that part. And I like it because it's squishy and I can squish it in between my fingers and just give Maggie a tiny, tiny bit amount so I don't run out. Plus, I don't want to make my dog obese while training her. Don't use a hard treat or one that will crumble, or she'll look at the ground, not you. Using a treat bag is handy, and soon your dog will know it's time to learn when to bring it out. See, I have one right here. And Maggie always pays attention when I bring it out because she knows that this is good treat time, so. One last thing to remember before getting started is if you're not in a fenced yard, have a leash on your dog because you don't want them to run away or get hurt. Now you're ready to learn. Time to get started. Focus on only one trigger behavior at a time. Working on these small blocks of time so you and your dog don't get bored or tired. Only reward the behavior like you want. For example, if you ask your dog to shake, but he sits instead, and you reward that, he may begin to confuse the two. So remember to only treat the behavior that you want. With positive training, there are some important things that you should never do. Sit, stay, pick up. There are some important things that you should never do. Never hit or yell at your dog. They can't learn if they're in a fearful state of mind. You want them to think of training as fun time, so they'll want to do it more. Never punish them. If they give you an unwanted behavior, ignore it and try asking for the behavior again. A good example is our puppy feeder. When we give our dog treats, we make them sit back and be calm. But our puppy feeder, he always tried to jump up and grab it out of our hands. And we didn't want that, of course you don't. You don't want a dog biting at your hands all the time. So we just ignored him and gave all the rest of the dogs treats. Maggie, come on. Sit. Sit. Stay. See? That's a good example because I didn't yell at her, I called her back, and I just tried it again. So our puppy beater, get back on subject, would always try to jump up and grab it. Well, if we didn't want it, we would just ignore it. And soon, he sat down and was starting to be calm. So we gave him the treat as soon as he sat down. So just remember to give them a treat as soon as they do it, or they won't get it in their head. If you and your dog are getting frustrated, it's time for a break. Once you started working with your dog, you want to practice continuous reinforcement. That means every time the dog does what you want, give them a treat. Soon, once your dog can do the trick, they will just be happy to hear you praise them. You will slowly work from the treats to praise over time. So let's talk about a few of the basics to get started with. Okay, sitting. Never shove or yell at them to sit. Here, I'll show you. If Maggie, let's pretend she's the puppy here, if I wanted her to sit, I would go like this, and and slowly move it back until she sat down and gave her the treat. Good girl, yes. Okay. Come, it's one of the most important things you can teach your dog if we're running out towards the road. So let's pretend Maggie is the puppy again. And once you've got this down, you can sit. But of course, when your dog is a puppy, you won't know. So I'm just going to have Maggie stay here, and you'll want to do this when your dog is across the room. And you just tap the floor and give them lots of praise when they come to you. Good girl, good calm, good Maggie, good calm. Give them lots of praise and treats when they do. Okay. Never punish your dog for coming to you. Oh. Okay. Never punish your dog for coming to you. If they've done something wrong, don't call them to you and punish them for it. Also, don't chase. Kids think this is a game, but it can start a bad habit of them running from you when you come near them. If you want to play, have them choose you. You want them to know that they'll always be rewarded for coming to you. Practice this all the time when your dog is young. Call them to you and give them lots of praise and kisses when they do. Soon, they'll come every time you come. So now that we've talked about the basics, there's almost no limit to what you can teach your dog using positive reinforcement. Here are a few things I've taught Maggie. I'm going to go ahead and put the microphone right here.
Here's the best thing I've taught her so far. Okay. And now the best trick ever. Move. Be cute. Be cute. Good girl. Come on. Sit. Remember, what most dogs pick up from us is our tone of voice and body language. So stay relaxed and positive. I hope you enjoy the rest of the events Winterfest has to offer. I'm Courtney, and this is my dog, Maggie.